So this is a video about the Nitecore Superior Primes and my experience using them. At first I got the 35mm T2.0, which I'm using now, but I now have the full kit and here's what I think of them. The Nitecore Superior Primes are full-frame Cine Primes and they come in E-mount, EF mount and PL mount. You can also switch out the mounts if you want to do so. There's a 25mm which is T2.1, the rest is T2.0 and that's a 35, a 50 and 75 and 100. I also know that they are working on a 18mm and a 135mm. I'm not sure when they are going to be released though. And by the way, if you want to know more about the origin and the production of these lenses, I will leave a link to another YouTube video down below. As mentioned, I got the 35mm at first because I wanted to add a cine lens to my rig. On a Super 35 sensor, I find that focal length to be extremely versatile and I ended up shooting a YouTube ad entirely on that lens, except the last shot that was done on a Sigma Art 50 to 100mm f1.8. At first I was looking to add a cine lens mostly because of simple but important features as focus gear, a larger focus throw and hard stops. I've always had big issues with using photo lenses with follow focus and even more so when I've used a remote follow focus. So there's that. It's a design that fits your film rig better. And of course, all lenses are the same size, so they are really easy to go between, as cine lenses should be. But is that the only thing that you are getting when you are paying roughly $2,000 for one lens? No, I don't think so, and I will break that down in a pros and cons list for you. And I will also compare them to everybody's favorite lens, the Sigma Art 18 to 35. Compared to most photo lenses, you are getting less hardness in your image. They are less contrasty than photo lenses and they are not overly sharpened. You will still have all the details that the sensor is able to capture, but in a more gentle way. The Sigma 18 to 35, for example, is a very good all-round lens for video, but it is very sharp. And not always in a good way in my opinion. The Nitekores are indeed sharp, also wide open, but not as sharp as the art lenses, which to me is a good thing. All the focal lengths has very little focus breathing. This is usually something that I'm not too focused on. If you take a look at the most used anamorphic lenses out there, most of them breathe a lot. But of course, having little focus breathing is nice. There's also very little chromatic aberration on all the lenses in this kit. Here is an example of the 25mm that I used on a video for my other YouTube channel. And this might be considered a pro if you're into flaring in your image. They flare very easily, and if you don't like flaring, it could be considered a con. That being said, I haven't had any issues controlling the flares with using a matte box. Most of the time I like flaring, and if I don't want it, I remove it, simple as that. Cine lenses are expensive and most of them are out of reach for smaller companies and one-man band operations as myself. The Nitekores are not cheap, but they are cheaper than most other cine lenses. And they are performing way better than competing cheap cine lenses in my opinion. And the only thing that I really can see as a con with these lenses are how clean they look. As with the flaring, this can be seen both as a pro and a con. A lot of cinematographers rent certain cine lenses because they are after a certain look. Some of them have a lot of character and they are a big part of the overall look you are chasing. So if you're after some green really vintage lenses, these might not be for you, but I like to look at it from the perspective of one of my favorite cinematographers, Steve Yedlin. As long as you are capturing enough data, it really doesn't matter if you're filming on 35mm film using a $2 million lens kit, you can create the look later down in the pipeline. That doesn't mean you shouldn't care about what is going on in front of the camera. That will always be most important, but in my experience using the Nitecore Primes, their clean look is making it easy for me to create the looks that I want, whether it's a clean commercial look or a more gritty film look. So the Superior Primes from Nitecore are giving me a very good starting point, and for that I really like them. Thank you for watching. If you have any more questions about these lenses, please leave them down below and I will try to get to all of you. Bye.